Technology is wonderful right up until it isn't. Jennie Bradford with us now for the we could have just left your frozen picture up there and just pretended
We've had
for
a couple
while.
of those with Richard Cross in the thinking hard moment, and it fries, and you're like, no, let's flip that over.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Jennie, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you all so much for having me this morning.
Most definitely. Well, the Tupelo Elvis Festival starts today, right?
Well, actually, what we're doing today, we are unveiling a new marker on our Elvis Tupelo driving tour. So this is actually Elvis Week in Memphis kicks off. And so, of course, we partner along with our friends at Graceland to celebrate the legacy of Elvis Presley. We have a big fan day coming up at the Elvis Presley birthplace tomorrow. But today at 10 o'clock this morning, we are unveiling a new marker, the 15th marker on the Elvis Tupelo driving tour at Relics Antique Marketplace. And this was the former Tupelo garment factory where Gladys Presley worked while she was pregnant with Elvis.
Now, what are some of the stops on that driving tour?
So right now, after 10 o'clock this morning, it will take you to 15 different places. So we want you to go see Tupelo Hardware Company, where Elvis got his first guitar. Tupelo Hardware actually turns 100 next year, and it's the 80th anniversary of that famous purchase. Right now, we have a pop-up visitor center there, so you can go learn more about the Elvis Tupelo story, the Tupelo Hardware legacy, and more about what to do in our community. The tour also takes you to places like Johnny's Drive-In, which is the oldest restaurant in Tupelo, and they turn 80 in October of this year. So you got to go sit in the Elvis booth, eat a good old Johnny burger, a good North Mississippi dough burger, and have a milkshake and eat like Elvis did. And then it takes you to some of the schools he attended, takes you to Lee County Library, where you can see his first library card on display. So you really get to know the boy who became the world's greatest entertainer on this tour.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Most of this stuff is recognizing points in his life where nobody knew who he was outside of Tupelo. He was just this kid.
He lived in Tupelo until he was almost 14. So these were his formative years. This is where he learned his morals and values and really helped shape him into the man he would become. So we take you to all kinds of places to learn about that. And then people love just to experience the small town atmosphere when they're in Tupelo to get to know Elvis. And then they're always surprised by what a great city we have here in Tupelo.
Well, and a lot of people get to experience that surprise. I know you have tourism throughout the year, but this week especially, you're going to have an influx of folks wanting to come to see where Elvis was born and where he grew up, aren't you?
Absolutely. We say that we celebrate Elvis every day, but we celebrate Elvis mostly in January when he was born, in June during the Tupelo Elvis Festival, and then again with our partners in Memphis for Elvis Week each August. So each of those bring lots of visitors. We have international visitors, people from all over the world who come to see the birthplace of Elvis, and then everyone in between.
Do you have any idea, just a rough estimate, the number of countries that we have had people come to Tupelo from just to experience Elvis's birthplace? Any rough guess?
I'm not sure of the exact number of countries. The birthplace will track that and tell us when we have people from different places. Our top feeder market is the UK, of course, followed by the rest of Western Europe, Germany, France, Australia, New Zealand. We see a lot of visitors from there. Brazil, the second largest Elvis fan club in the world, is in Brazil. So we've actually translated our Elvis Tupelo driving tour into 8 different languages that you can access on our website at tupelo.net, or you can pick up a brochure at the Elvis Presley birthplace. So we want to make sure that all those folks coming in that can have that same Elvis Tupelo experience if they don't speak or read English.
Well, are there some communication challenges you have to overcome when you have one of these weeks where you have a huge influx of tourism from all around the planet into Tupelo? A little trouble both sides understanding each other?
Well, we have those translated brochures and that helps. But, Elvis is kind of universal. He's one of the most recognized names in the world, and it's amazing to see the reactions they have to that tiny little home in East Tupelo. So that is just, you don't need a translator for that.
That's a very good point. Very good. Now, you're unveiling the 15th marker today. Anything else planned for the week in conjunction with what's going on in Memphis?
So we always sort of kick off the week here in Tupelo with Fan Appreciation Day so that people can get to Memphis for all the festivities. We do have the winner of our Tupelo Elvis Festival Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest is headed to compete this week in Memphis as part of the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist competition. So we wish him best of luck and know he will represent Tupelo well. So we're excited for that. And then, of course, we'll have some representatives up there just to be a part of the festivities and make sure everybody remembers to come see where the story all started in Tupelo.
Now, one thing that I do want to take a moment, because we are talking about Elvis for obvious reasons, and that's usually one of the first things that comes to mind when you mention Tupelo, is like, oh, Elvis, that's where Elvis is from. There's a lot more to Tupelo than just that. How are things going with the CVB?
They're going great. We just had a big Southern Zone swim meet last week, big baseball, softball tournaments. We have a really strong sports program here. We have meetings and conventions throughout the year. We're also the headquarters of the Natchez Trace Parkway, which is one of the top 10 most visited national parks in the country. And in November of 2026, we will open the Chickasaw Heritage Center, which the Chickasaw Nation is coming back to the heart of their homeland to tell their story from their perspective through a $60 million interpretive center on the Natchez Trace Parkway. So that's going to be as big as Elvis when they open next year.
That is fantastic. So it's fair to say there's a lot going on in Tupelo.
Most definitely.
Very good. And now, after this, the next big Elvis celebration will be coming around again in January, right?
Right. His birthday is January 8th.
Do you have plans that you're already working on?
We're always working on plans, but we will work with our friends at the Elvis Presley birthplace to make sure that we celebrate his birthday in the best way possible. So it's, kind of a slow time right after Christmas, but it's a wonderful time to come visit and be a part of the birthday celebration at the birthplace.
All you got to do is make the trip. It's a short trip, and there is a lot to see and a lot to do in Tupelo, Mississippi. And let me just say that you guys up there in Tupelo do a fantastic job, as especially for one particular group on the planet, being ambassadors for the state of Mississippi, because for a lot of people, you talk about New Zealand and Australia and France and Germany and Spain and all across the UK coming here. That might be all they know about Mississippi before they make the trip, is that Elvis was born in Tupelo, and I suspect you send them off with a little more information about our state than that by the time they leave, don't you?
We absolutely do. We know that those international visitors aren't just coming to spend their 2-week vacation in Tupelo. We want to make sure they know that the blues was born in the Mississippi Delta, and that the final battle, or one of the most decisive battles of the Civil War, was in Vicksburg. And you can see those wonderful homes in Natchez, and then go spend a few days chilling out on the coast, because there's just so much to see and do in our state. And we love that we get them here for Elvis, that we exceed their expectations, and then they just get to have wonderful food and 5-star experiences all the way through our state.
They show up excited, send them home smiling. That's all you can do. Jennie Bradford, enjoyed talking to you. Have a good time with the unveiling of the 15th marker. You're already planning a 16th at some point in the future?
Of course. We're always planning something.
Yeah. Something is always up her sleeve is what she's saying here, and that's a very good thing for Tupelo and for Mississippi. Jennie Bradford, Deputy Director of the Tupelo CVB, thank you so much. I would wish you good luck, but you don't need it because you're working too hard. Good luck.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon. We continue on mornings on this Friday morning right after this on SuperTalk Mississippi. Keep it here.